Hello there, and welcome to the September 2019 Demajen Gaming channel update. First of all, before we get started, I would like to thank every single one of you who has liked, subscribed, commented on one or more of my videos since this channel started up somehow, and I am not entirely sure how. There are now over 500 of you subscribed to this channel, which seems utterly bizarre to me, but it's great. Thank you very, very much for the support. I'm not very good at this whole gushing with appreciation thing. I like to just get on with it. But I do feel it's kind of a milestone for a guy who is really just doing this for fun. So it's brilliant. Thank you so much to all of you. Now, there are a lot of you, and I can see the numbers. I've kind of figured out how the YouTube analytics tab works, so I can see the numbers. A lot of you are here because of three things, really. My Remnant from the Ashes content, especially the Red Doe Bell puzzle stuff, got a lot of subscribers from that one, and quite a few people have been watching my main playthrough as well. Darksiders 3 stuff and Darksiders 4 speculation, all of that kind of stuff, that added quite a few people to the channel. And of course, my Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers content was massively popular. So, whilst this channel, as I said, really is very much an endeavour that is devoted to me recording my reactions for my own posterity, something that I wish I could have done for basically Bloodborne and Hollow Knight, two of my favourite games. I wish I got my first reactions captured for those games. I know that there are a lot of people here subbed to this channel or watching this channel or watching these videos that are most likely interested in the things that they have subbed for. So what is going to follow here is an outline of things that you can kind of expect from the channel going through the rest of September. First of all, Remnant from the Ashes coverage. There's still about a week's worth of the B-roll re-roll footage scheduled for release over the next 7 or 8 days. These are not super edited, they don't have face cam, they are just me highlighting bits and pieces of finding new things for the first time as I explore the dynamically generated worlds of Remnant. Nothing super amazing in terms of kind of editing quality, but some entertaining stuff in there nonetheless. At some point soon, Gunfire Games will be releasing Adventure Mode. We're not entirely sure when this is dropping. We're not entirely sure when they're planning any kind of content patches or just bug fixes and balance fixes. They've been a little bit quiet, actually, on the forums since the last balance patch that I made a video for. But I assume that's because they are working now flat out on Adventure Mode after the success of the launch. And I think they're probably a little bit surprised as to how well received the game was. So when new stuff is released, I'll definitely be producing videos on it because I'm still playing and I'm still really enjoying it. I've still got things that I haven't managed to tick off my to-do list yet. So while I'm not very good at the game, I've got no aim, as you've probably noticed from my Remnant stuff, from my Control stuff, if you've been watching that, which sadly not a huge number of people have. More on that in a second. There will be more Remnant content going forwards. They're going to be released kind of in the morning slot, the 9 AM GMT slot on the channel. So they're not big releases. They're there if you want to see what I've been doing, what I've been getting up to get your Remnant fix until new stuff arrives. Control. I have just finished my playthrough of the main story of Control. It's about 20. I think it's 20 episodes to get to the end of the game. I really liked it. I really enjoyed Control. There are some sequences towards the end which I think are brilliant, really mind-messingly brilliant. And I'm kind of glad that at this stage, actually, I don't have kind of monetization enabled on this channel, because whilst I've got the copyrighted music option ticked in the game, I think episodes 17, 18, 19, and 20 have all got copyright claims against them, because the developers decided that just to really get across the ending to the game in the way they wanted, they would use certain pieces of music which are licensed. So whatever, I'm not earning money off this stuff anyway. I've got a lot of thoughts on Control. There will be more videos coming out on it. There's another 10 or 11 days worth of videos at least on that game. I know a lot of people aren't watching them. Some of which might be due to the fact that I have quite a few technical issues with the game to start with. They do improve towards the end. They do improve towards the end. And more importantly, it's one of those games that starts off with an interesting premise, has a little bit of a slowdown, a little bit of a lull, and gets its hooks into you more and more and more and more as you go through. It's a slow burn game. So do check it out, because I've really enjoyed that one. And I am kind of contemplating doing an Alan Wake playthrough, just so that you can see where my love of Remedy's games really stems from. Darksiders. In the absence of any patches or updates for Darksiders 3, the DLC is out. There's not really anything that they need to patch in as far as I am aware. I am on the lookout, really, for interesting stuff to talk about for the Darksiders franchise. I've got full playthroughs of 1, 2, and 3 up on the channel now. Obviously, whenever Genesis gets released, I'll be doing a full playthrough of that, but I don't think we've even got a release date for that yet. There's not really any huge Darksiders news out there currently. I know Genesis has just released a short trailer about War, but it's a little cinematic with some very kind of brief snippets of gameplay, with basically stuff that we've already seen interspersed throughout. So there's not a huge amount to say until I get my hands on the game. If you've got any suggestions for things that you'd like to hear or see about the Darksiders franchise, let me know in the comments below. Final Fantasy XIV. Shadowbringers. Almost certainly my game of the year. Almost certainly my favourite Final Fantasy story. Now, I've completed the MSQ. I've completed the associated side quests. I'm now back into the Tombstone loot. Loot. Yes. And I've been completing Eden normal every week, just to gear up my healers since my tanks are now sorted. I've been leveling Gunbreaker up, but there's nothing new there. Just me on my own running dungeons is not particularly interesting content. You know, it's not like I've got a cool raid group like Nest or Wings of the 12 to be raiding with. So there's none of that interactivity. It's an MMO that I'm playing on my own, basically. That's not all that exciting to watch, I don't think. My quote-unquote personality can't carry that. So there's not likely to be anything 14 related until the next big Final Fantasy 14 content drop, which will be patch 4.1, where you'll get to watch me attempt Yorha, the Dark Apocalypse. You'll get to see how little I know about Nier Automata. You'll get to see me go through the MSQ for 4.1, any side content that is added, new dungeons and so on and so forth. But I am contemplating a Final Fantasy Friday style thing where I release Final Fantasy stuff from past games on Fridays. I know, it's not a particularly unique concept, but it keeps me going with Final Fantasy stuff. It's been literal decades since I played most of the Final Fantasy games. I went through most of them when I was at uni on a complete binge after I played 8, so I would like to revisit them, especially the early stuff. So let me know in the comments if that's something that you'd be interested in watching. Obviously, Final Fantasy games are big time investments, so if nobody's interested, I might still do it anyway because I want to play them. But it's a little bit disheartening if you spend 60 hours on a game and maybe 2 people watch it. So it's a niche thing. Now, onto the new stuff. Upcoming games. What do I definitely know I will be playing and making videos on over the next 3 weeks, the rest of the month of September. First of all, Blasphemous. It's out on September the 10th, which is, all of 4 days away by the time I'm recording this. What day even is it today? It's Friday. Yeah, I don't know. It's the first week back of term, but I'm not needed yet. So yeah, September the 10th, Blasphemous. It's a pixel art, Souls-like Metroidvania, heavy religious tones, quite dark. I've already done a Demajen tries for the demo, which was out on Steam. You can check out that in the corner. There should be a card up there. It's absolutely my cup of tea, so I will be starting that as soon as it comes out, and it will begin the prime time slot on my channel. I know that indie games and Metroidvania games are not super big business compared to a lot of the AAA titles, but they are very much my thing. And since this one seems to be quite religion heavy, a bit like Dark Devotion was, a little bit like Unworthy was, I'm really keen to play this. So that'll be starting next week. Also releasing on the 10th is Greedfall, which is a game with a very interesting premise that I've tried really not to read too much about or watch really much about. There will most likely be a Demajen tries on that. I don't know whether there'll be a full playthrough. It depends what it's like. It depends when it grabs me. But obviously I'll be playing Blasphemous first, so I don't know about Greedfall. It looks interesting. It does look like my kind of thing, but I don't know how much there will be on the channel about it. If you've got some thoughts on that, if you think it's most likely my kind of thing, do let me know down below. September's big releases are obviously Borderlands 3 and Gears 5. I haven't played a Gears of War game since Gears 2, and I haven't played Borderlands 2 in ages. I enjoyed it. I like the sense of humour. I am not entirely sure I'm going to be picking up either of those games, and if I do, it won't be, I imagine, until they are in a sale. So if you're wanting Gears and Borderlands content, I'm probably not your guy. Sorry. They're both AAA games. They're both quite expensive, and there are other things that I want to prioritise game-wise in September. As I said, I would like to play them, but I'm well behind on the story in Gears 4. I do have Gears 4 as part of the Xbox Game Pass thing on PC, so I can kind of catch up at some point, but it's never really been my thing, so we'll see how it goes on that. The release that I am AAA-wise looking forward to, of course, is September the 20th, which brings the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake on the Nintendo Switch. A classic Game Boy game that I've actually played recently. There's a playlist on the channel, link in the top right-hand corner. The game that got me into gaming. Really? The original Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. It was my first console. It was the first game that I really owned for myself. Loved it. 1989, was it? Something like that. Link's Awakening. Oh god, that's 30 years, isn't it? Yeah, I'm getting old. So yeah, you can bet your ass that I will be playing Link's Awakening from start to finish. I will be making some comparisons between that and the original, but most importantly, I'm just looking forward to hearing the Ballad of the Windfish in full-on orchestrated HD. So if you want to see a 38-year-old guy get kind of emotional, playing a game that is basically a Playmobil looking thing, I will be your guy for that. One thing that I'm not entirely sure of, while I've now got the Switch hooked up with my capture card and stuff working and so on and so forth, obviously the Switch only outputs at 1080p. And I've done most of my videos at 1440p ever since I got my computer upgrade back in January. So I'm not sure whether I should set up a new OBS profile and do a 1080p recording just for Zelda and other Switch content, or whether I should window it or just stretch it out. If you've got an opinion on that, do please let me know. Would you prefer it stretched out so it fills the screen at 1440p, or would you like it in a 1080p kind of window with a border around it? I'm nonplussed either way, but it's you guys that are going to be watching it, so do let me know. September the 24th has The Surge 2. September the 27th has Code Vein, both Souls-like games to an extent. One's anime Souls, one's sci-fi Souls. I like my Souls games, as you know, so I'll be playing both of those. Link's Awakening, I can't imagine is going to take me a super long time to get through, because it's not a crazy long game, and I have played Link's Awakening recently anyway, so I may well have finished Link's Awakening by the time The Surge 2 comes out. 4 days is probably enough for me to sit down and blitz through it, even if I've got work. Don't know. But The Surge 2, I missed out on the buzz of The Surge 1. I was really busy, I think, at the time it came out, and when it came out it had mixed reviews, but it's garnered a cult following since then. So I'll most likely be playing The Surge 2, and I'll almost certainly be picking up Code Vein, because that looks very, very bizarre, and I like that kind of stuff. Obviously, a lot of what I can get played / done for the channel depends on how heavy the teaching workload is, as well as how much progress I make on the various writing projects that I've got in the works, because books don't write themselves, you know. So I'll put out what I can, when I can, and hopefully you will all enjoy it. So there you have it. The September channel plan update thingy. Hopefully you heard or saw something you are interested in on there. Let me know if there is or isn't. Give me a shout if there's something you think I'd like for Demajen tries or series. I'm always eager to try new stuff, and it's always fun to get suggestions and see, well, this people think that this is the kind of thing that I'd like to play. I mean, if you've watched my Resident Evil 2 remake playlist, you know that I am terrible with horror games, and I've had various suggestions about, oh, you should play this horror game or that horror game, because people want to see me squirm. People want to see me squeal. I'm fine with that. Although I won't be playing The Man from Medan, because it's, yeah. So, that's a wrap. Once again, thank you all for the support, the comments, the likes, the subscriptions. It really does mean a lot to a guy who is basically doing this for a laugh. This is my relaxation. This is my something that I do just to relax and have fun, and to pick up some new skills. And video editing and video making very much is a new skill for me. Hopefully you can see some improvements in my videos over the last 8 months or so. I've worked really hard, and I've spent a reasonable amount of money bringing the quality up to something that I am happy with. And looking back at some of my earlier videos, it really is. It's a shame that YouTube doesn't allow you to edit videos and re-upload them without losing all of your likes and comments and stuff, because there's a few videos that I wish I'd still got the original footage and audio for, so that I could do something with them, but sadly I can't keep everything forever. Thank you all, folks, very much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Cheerio. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.